Hi, cuties, besties, and ghosties. Welcome to all of my returning friends. Welcome back. So happy to have you. So grateful to have you here. This is truly the funnest part of my week. To all of my new friends, what took you so long? Welcome. Today we are going to be doing a really fun reading. I was chatting with one of my ancestors, channeling, you know how we do. And they said that they had a gift for me. And I thought it would be a really fun reading to ask your ancestors and your spiritual team what fun surprise they have in store for you. So I'm really excited to dig into this. I've pre-shuffled some oracles so we can kind of get some vibes around it. We'll dig in a little bit more with tarot depending on kind of what comes out there. Um, I don't know how specific we can get because this is a general reading, so do keep that in mind. However, this is a relatively small channel, so it's probably going to be decently specific. I hope so. I'm kind of excited for it. So let's see what it is. We have 3 piles today as normal. I have fixed my sound, so our girl, the singing bowl, should be back. Sorry if you expected that last week and it was cut out. I put some sort of like noise suppression on my sound because it was really echoey. I didn't have my normal mic on, and it completely didn't pick up the bowl, which was really weird and I was not expecting. So sorry if you like heard any sound issues with the last video, but we should be back in business, up and running with the normal mic this week, and hopefully, fingers crossed, no more audio issues. So yeah. I think we've gotten through everything. If you've made it this far, thanks for sticking around. Next section is going to be the section where we um, pick a pile. So I'll play a singing bowl. You can kind of dig into all of these. I'll explain what they are. They have some kind of personal meanings to them. And at any point when you've picked your pile, you can click the links down in the description for the timestamp and hop to your reading. So either I'll see you in the pick a pile or in your reading, but I'll see you soon. Okay, bye. Hi, cuties. Welcome to your pick a pile section. Hello. You have 3 piles to choose from. I don't know what I'm saying today, honestly. It's been an odd day. I'm just rolling through it. So this is one of my protection jars. I have all of these pieces of black tourmaline. I actually bought a package of black tourmaline like a really long time ago off Amazon, and a lot of the pieces shattered. So I have kind of like jars filled with the dust and the little fragments. And I keep this on my ancestral shrine to ward off negative energy and just kind of like absorb things. This reading is really about channeling our ancestors and our guides. So I thought that this was the perfect jar to pick. It's almost like a little gift of protection. And let me get it on there so it doesn't roll off. um, this is something that I've had for a really, really long time. You can tell that this label on it is just, she's old. It's called Beach Box, but it's a little present. I keep it on my Yaya, and it just has like little crystals and sand. Might be a little bit dirty because she is pretty old. There's like a little gold coin in there. The thing that I love about it is like every time you move it around, you can kind of like see different things in it. So there's shells, there's a coin. I think there's like some agate, maybe sea glass in it. And I thought this was really fitting to include for a reading where we were asking about gifts from spirit. So here she is. Oh, and I forgot to say which, I was so excited about this little gift box. Like, I forgot to say what decks these are. So the first one is the Buffy the Vampire Slayer deck, and the second one is the Rainbow Heart Tarot. This third pile, we have the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. I went with a purple vibe, I don't know. Seemed like a good idea. And then this is a lighter that I got when I was in Cambodia. And this was kind of like the start of my spiritual journey. I went to Angkor Wat. If you look up Angkor Wat, it's like 50 square miles of these beautiful, I think, Buddhist temples. Um, and some of the sellers there collected lighters, I think from World War II. Um, and they engraved things on the back of them. At least that's what they told me. This totally could not be like a legit lighter from then. It might have been made in China. Like, I really don't know. Um, but I think it's so funny. Like, here engraved in it, I don't know if you can see that, but it says, "I'm just like a duck. I don't give a fuck." And the kind of ironic part about this was the point in my life where I really started giving a fuck about myself and about my spiritual journey, and it really changed my life. So that was a very unexpected surprise and gift from that trip. And yeah, I guess it's a good pairing with that deck as well. So here's your time to dig in. If you picked a pile and one of these resonated with you, go ahead and click in the description. Otherwise, I'm going to play the bowl now. Okay, friends, thanks for sticking around. This is the point where go ahead and pick your pile, and I will see you in your reading. Okay, bye. Hi, pile ones. If you chose the black tourmaline protection jar, then this is your reading. I was like really worried when I moved this over that this was just gonna go flying across the table. So hopefully she kind of like stays in a spot. Okay, we're gonna move tarot off for a second and pull out the oracles. Okay, so we have a few different cards. I should have ordered them, but so what is your gift? Like kind of the energy that it's bringing into your life. We have loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. And we have the seas of Mintaka, seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. And the energy that it's going to come in with is illumination. The way that it's going to change kind of your interactions with kind of like yourself and others is the fox and the butterfly. And then we also have, I asked kind of like, what shape is this going to take? And I pulled a pot trying to find its lid in the bedding department. It's kind of, I think my camera's a little crooked today. Aren't we all? So I think Spirit is really looking to kind of like shake things up in your interpersonal relationship arena. It's interesting, like we have illumination as the energy that's bringing this in, and we have the seas of Mintaka, seeing potential, bringing consciousness to light. One thing that I think that you are, I hope you couldn't just hear that engine. Sorry if you could, that kind of jarred me a little bit. One thing that I think you are starting to realize is that not everybody is going to be able to come along along on the journey with you. And you picked the protection jar. Like the protection jar is almost like it's like an evil eye. So I like tap it with my little evil eye. Like it absorbs energies that are sent your way that kind of like don't serve you, but maybe aren't directly malicious. And there's somewhat of an emphasis in your spread about connections and specifically like preserving connections with people. Like a pot trying to find its lid in the bedding department is about kind of like searching for your person or your people in the wrong places. And the fox, the fox upright really prioritizes relationships and is like the best partner, like the first one to kind of commit to a relationship and really try to preserve that and really finds kind of their definition and their sense of belonging themselves within that relationship. And the butterfly seems like a little bit more of an independent energy to me. So I think what spirit is bringing to you is spirit is bringing to you kind of that higher sight, that higher vision that is supposed to really like help you look strategically at the partnerships that you're in. Like whether I get like almost a heavily friend vibe here too. This might not necessarily be like just romantic partners. I think it could be romantic partners for some of you, but it also could just be the types of people that you let in your life in general. And I get for some of you that maybe this is like a friend group that you've been holding on to, and maybe like suited you earlier in your development. But now what's happening is like you are growing and you are blossoming, and spirit's really spurring this, and they want you to continue. And so what they're doing is they're really bringing situations that challenge your dedication and your loyalty to people who are no longer loyal to you. Because I do sense a little bit of jealousy as well. Like the butterfly is a very beautiful, charismatic, change-oriented card. And with loosen your grip, I think there's kind of gripping from both sides. I think that in the past, like you have really trusted in the potential of people, the potential for them to grow, and maybe some have grown along with you, but I think others have not. Um, and I think spirit's really challenging that kind of like holding on to things that and people that aren't really serving you anymore. And I'm kind of looking like this card is all about air for me. And we have the butterfly, and underneath it is just like a very water-filled card. And this is kind of telling me that you are being encouraged to kind of like use almost like head over heart, like head over heart. Like you may see a lot of potential in these people, but really it's more about like thinking about these relationships strategically and being able to see when people serve you and when they don't. And kind of like the beautiful thing about that is when you do loosen your grip, some people will get their shit together if you're not there to catch them, which is very interesting. So, okay, let's move on to tarot. And we got our Buffy the Vampire Slayer tarot, my fave. I don't know how I'm going to shuffle this. Okay, not that way. She didn't like the sideways shuffle. Okay. So Spirit, what can you tell me? Oh, we have the 10 of Cups. Oh, love that for you. That's an interesting 10 of Cups too, because I can't pull it out now, but it looked like she was standing alone. And usually the 10 of Cups has a family on it. So I think that kind of like emphasizes, you're finding your happiness within yourself and figuring out like who you are outside of the people that are around you and really welcoming your transformation. Okay. What do I want to ask? I think I want to ask for you, like, what circumstance is going to spur this? And I think this is energy that has started in your life, but maybe like is about to pick up quite considerably. So, yeah, what's going to spur this energy, Spirit? Okay, we have the 3 of Swords and we have the 4 of Swords. Wait, what's Stakes? Stakes Wand? Oh no, wait. No, Stakes is Wands. The 4 of Wands. Okay, and then we have the Emperor in reverse. Okay, I kind of had a feeling that this was going to come out. Like, your gift from the universe is one that's really about shedding. And there is an element to this that is going to be kind of heartbreaking in some cases. Like, there are going to be people who you thought were your ride or dies, and you thought were going to come along for the journey and be part of your happiness. Um, and I feel like this is like relatively unexpected. Um, and if you've seen this episode of Buffy, I don't want to like talk about it like too specifically, just in case like she loses someone and it's very, very unexpected. It's like one of the most like unexpected things in the series. Um, and she has to kind of carry on. Like, she doesn't have time to grieve this. She just has to keep going. And I think this is going to test your resolve a little bit, um, especially because of like the unexpected nature of it. But Spirit wants you to know, like, the best way to get through this, like with this Emperor reversed, like, you may feel out of control in this time. And I think that in the past, control may have been like really important for you. And this gift is also trying to teach you to let go a little bit of that control. Like, there are going to be things in life that you can't control. There are going to be like people's actions. Like, you can't control people's actions, and you can set up a beautiful future for them. You can, give them all the advice and support that they could possibly want, but it's really up to them whether they're going to take you up on that offer. And right now, Spirit wants you to kind of like lean more into life in a way and let it flow and kind of enjoy the ride as opposed to trying to steer it all the time. And it's not going to be a painless endeavor. but it is going to be extremely, extremely rewarding and extremely beneficial for you. Like, I mean, you got the Ten of Cups coming out in the middle of the shuffle. Like, you are going to be kind of like walking, and it looked a lot like this Illumination card as well. Like, Buffy's kind of like walking with this arch of cups around her. I almost want to dig into the deck right now and find that card. I should have pulled it. But before we find that light, there is going to be darkness, because that's how we grow. And we only understand the light in relationship to dark. If we didn't have any like times in our life where we cried, we would have no idea what laughter is. Like, what's joy? It's meaningless if you don't have both. Okay, Spirit. So we know how this is going to kind of enter your life. And I kind of got that vibe in the beginning of the reading too, so this isn't super surprising. But what is going to be the impact of this? I just heard like peace of mind. I do get kind of like a little bit of like worrying vibe. Okay, we have Judgment in reverse. We have the Moon. I'm hearing let go and let God. Like, not everybody is your responsibility to fix. We have the Nine of Swords. Yeah, this is kind of the anxiety coming out. So I know that these are like not, it's not like you got the Ten of Cups in this position. I think that's okay. Like, this is really meant to get you to start putting your energy, instead of into other people and into kind of like lifting everybody else up, you're going to start putting energy into understanding yourself. I think like, you might have a little bit of a tendency to like put more energy into other people to avoid like heartbreak or like pain within yourself, or to kind of like calm anxiety, and maybe like using relationships and people a little bit, like not using people, but like always having something to do, always having social activities, like kind of filling your calendar to the brim with people, so you don't have to kind of like sit alone and really sit with your emotions and figure out how you feel. And that's really the next stage of your spiritual development. These are the energies that you're going to be working through. And again, like, it's all in service of figuring out like, what is your Ten of Cups? Do you actually know that kind of in relationship to yourself, and what you want your life to look like? And that's really like what this is all in service of. It's connecting you to your own dreams. Because the Moon can also be about dreams, right? Like, but I do think this is kind of like the beginning of a journey in your life that is going to take some time. Like, this is going to be kind of an ongoing cycle for you. And I think it is, like, for a lot of people as well who are spiritual. And like, I deal with a lot of anxiety, and kind of like hopeless feelings, and the more I've connected in with my spirituality and connect to source and really kind of let life flow instead of like hyper controlling it, the more freedom and expansion and transformation I've seen in my life. And that's really the energy that this is about. So I think like the gift that Spirit is really giving you is shifting the focus from other people and kind of preserving relationships that aren't going to be along for the ride. It's going to come with some heartbreak. Like, we don't change unless we get uncomfortable. But you're going to know, like, if people are hurting you and it is not fun to be around them, you're going to know that this is not a person that is going to be along for the ride. Again, like, if if you feel a lot of anxiety when you're away from them, like about how they treat you, probably not going to be your person. When you kind of eliminate those people and stop having to worry about their problems, then it's really when you gonna get into your own head and your own emotions and your own dreams and start to kind of like piece that together. So this is honestly, this is really beautiful. I mean, like, I probably have a little bit of a different perspective on just kind of growth in general. I really appreciate these times. I appreciate these nudges from spirit. I practice Santeria, and Oya is all about change, swift change. And honey, it is not comfortable change a lot of the time. Like, she's not the love and light Orisha by any means. She's more like, like dark moon goddess, kind of Kali, destructive goddess kind of vibe. So, and I really feel that energy in here. But know that this is all in service of your greater good and of your happiness. And this is truly a really beautiful gift from spirit. And then I just cut the deck and like we have the magician there. Like this is the beginning, right? I mean, and not even like the beginning, because you've already started this journey. This is the next step where you start to figure out like how you take your energy and start to create things for your own life, not to heal anybody else. Like it's no longer about anybody else, honey. This is about you. So this is all I have for you. I think we talked a bit about advice, and I think this magician card, like honestly, is all you need. Like you have everything within you that you need in order to make these changes and to create the life that you want. And I feel like you have a lot of dreams, you have a lot of desires, and you need to start connecting with yourself, with your guides, with your own, we call it Ori, but like your head, your destiny. And you will start to see magic happen in your life. So I hope this was helpful. If this resonated, please like, comment, subscribe. I would love to hear feedback about the reading, or if anything resonated. I'm so grateful to have you here. Honestly, I love reading for all of you. I hope that you come back and see me again. And until then, protect your little heart, okay? I am really excited for this next step for you. Okay, bye. Hi, Pile 2s. If you picked this little gift box, this is your reading. Okay, I'm going to move the tarot over just for a moment. We're going to pull out some oracles. Yeah, okay. So, as the gift from spirit that is coming in, we have star ancestors, hidden secrets, lost wisdom, look a little deeper. And we have star brothers, Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, trust. As the energy that's going to bring this in, we have magic. And then we have the deer in reverse as kind of like how this energy is going to change your relationship to other. And then we have meet cute and unbalanced Saturn as like ways in which this is going to manifest. And I realized like my camera is definitely tilted a little bit, so if the cards get a little bit wonky, I'm really sorry. Okay, so your gift from spirit is relationships. And this, I think, like, I don't know, I feel like you are going to be meeting people in kind of like ways that are, it's gonna surprise you. Like meet cute and magic together is just kind of like such a powerful combination for me. I think that's absolutely adorable. And then we have star ancestors and star brothers, and this is really about kind of like getting in touch like with yourself, but also kind of extending it out to other, and attracting people into your life who are really aligned with who you are now. It's very interesting because like this almost, and this happens a lot, like this almost feels like part two to reading one. So if you're like not feeling like you're quite here yet, you might want to listen to the first reading and then come here. Um, but this really feels like your dedication to yourself and kind of trust in yourself. Like I feel like this in the past you've been, I don't want to say this, but I guess I will. Fine. Like you've almost been treated like prey by some people, which is such a twisted like way to view somebody else. But I think that people took advantage of your good intentions, your heart, um, and I think this came from people who were relatively like controlling and kind of like cold to your emotions and how it impacted you. Um, I feel like you in some way have started toughening up a bit and like not letting this change the core of who you are, but really starting to like set better boundaries and say like, okay, well, you know, sometimes we look at other people and the way that we interact with them and we realize like, oh, well, they're pretty firm with me. Like if I was a little bit more firm with them, like they wouldn't be able to, walk over me or um you kind of like notice in somebody else that they're like really good at something and you decide like you're going to kind of try to embody that in some ways, I guess. Like I kind of see that like with people I've dated in the past where I felt like we were like a little bit too extremes. And once I wasn't with them anymore, I realized I kind of like really missed some of their characteristics that like annoyed me at the time because they were so different from mine. And I kind of absorbed them and felt like it made me a little bit more of a balanced person. And that was a really beautiful lesson I took away from it. I kind of feel like that similar energy with you and some of the people that you were dealing with. Um, and just kind of like getting a little bit like more upfront with your needs and a little bit like blunter about what you are and aren't willing to deal with. And that's a gift that Spirit has been working to manifest in your life for a decent amount of time. Like this isn't something that's kind of like one and done. This is a series of nudges and pushes and putting people in your path. And this is really part of your divine path as well. Um, and the beautiful part about this gift is now you get to really see the fruits of your labor because if you were pile one, you were kind of just toiling away and at the beginning. But here, now you're starting to bring in your soul family. Now you're starting to bring in people that are safe, you can trust. Like, you're going to be homies for life. These are the people that are meant to be your ride or dies. Super cute. Okay. If this is sounding like you, let's move on to tarot. If it's not, this is the point to hop to a different pile. Again, pile one seemed like it was kind of the beginning of this energy. Not sure about pile three. Haven't filmed it yet. But, okay. So what I want to ask. Let's see like where you can focus your energy to kind of bring in these people. Because I do feel like it's going to be a little bit surprising for you. Like meet cutes are not plans, but we can get an idea of like things to invest in. Okay, let's do a good shuffle first. Okay, Spirit. pile two's star fam gonna come in? Oh, we have the Two of Cups. Ugh. I love that these hearts are just like glowing. I feel like for these people, you are not going to have to like work hard for these connections at all, which is so stinking beautiful. Like you are just gonna see each other from across the room and just be magnetized to each other. For some of you, this may be a romantic relationship. I also just get like a lot of people are involved. It's not just partners, it's friends. Um, Maybe like some reconnecting with old friends as well. Okay. How are these people going to come in? Blah, blah. Okay. So many things just popped out. Okay. We have the King of Cups in reverse, and the Two of Swords in reverse, and then the Seven of Wands. Yeah. I feel like it's just going to be easy, honestly. Like, you are just going to meet, and it's going to be like, I mean, I want to say like love at first sight, but in a very like soul and knowing way. Um, and almost like you can almost see them with your eyes closed. Like the connection is that strong. And with the Seven of Wands, like this being a phoenix coming out, I do kind of like get the sense that some of these connections are going to be a little bit of a rebirth. Like for some of you, you may meet someone that you haven't spoken to or seen in like a really long time, and they just kind of like pop out of nowhere, and all of a sudden like this relationship rises from the dead. I know that like happens once in a while with like old friends, like a friend from high school that like maybe you cut ties with um a while ago. Yeah, I'm kind of getting that energy, like some of these people may be like friends that maybe you cut out for whatever reason and are coming back, and they've changed a lot, you've changed a lot, and it's just this kind of like inner knowing. um for some of you, and take this with a grain of salt, for some of you this may be an ex-partner coming back in, but you're gonna know, like, it's going to be very obvious whether this person is like soul fam or not, especially like with these Two Swords with the King of Cups and the Seven of Wands on the other side. Like it's going to be discernible, um because you're not really looking for a King of Cups in reverse. Like you're looking for this phoenix, and that phoenix energy is going to be like very, very present, again, very obvious. It's like the heart on fire. Okay. And what can you do to kind of like jumpstart this gift? Woo! That one came out quick. The Moon. You have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. I just heard, honey, you ain't got to do a damn thing. So, whatever is happening for you, like, it is just supposed to be easy. Like, honestly, I don't feel like you need to really, like, put a lot of effort into it. It's interesting, the Five of Pentacles came out in the last reading as well. Oh, and this is cute. You have the Two of Cups starting this reading. I don't know why I like put the cards like this, honestly, but they're here. But we have the Two of Cups, and then we have Temperance at the end. And there's a little rainbow in between Temperance. Like, I do get the vibe that like things are just going to happen naturally for you. And I feel like if you put a lot of pressure on trying to like create these connections more quickly, it's actually just going to lead to like feelings of isolation for you. Like these are just going to flow naturally in as you go out and you kind of create opportunities for yourself. Um, like with the Ace of Pentacles here, this is an interesting Ace of Pentacles because it has a pomegranate on it. Um, Pomegranates always make me think of Persephone when she goes down into the underworld and she's freaking bored. So she eats like 3 little seeds, and then all of a sudden she has to spend like 4 months down in the underworld with Hades instead of being up in the light with her mom. Um, and so I think like the only thing that you have to do is really try to keep yourself like pretty, I mean, I guess it's like a little tacky, but like high vibe, right? Like have faith in the universe, have faith in yourself. We have the moon here, and this is kind of like a deeply feminine card. So I think it's more about like managing your emotions, but also staying in a very like receptive and open state of mind where, like you're not walking into every coffee shop like hoping that you meet the one. You're just going out, you're having a good time, you're having a good time for you. You're not kind of like indulging in behaviors that are just like pushing down the loneliness, I guess. Like find activities that you love to do. Go do things like treat yourself. You might meet somebody in line at a coffee shop. You might not. But if you really like coffee and you want to go get an orange mocha frappuccino, I just watched Zoolander. I don't know what I'm saying. But like if that's what you really want, like go get it. Don't put any expectation on like an outcome, because I think that type of expectation or like kind of seeking out will just slow this down and make it more difficult to discern between the people who are like truly your family, um, and who bring balance to you and bring balance and beautiful things into your life, and just, some fuckboy. So, yeah, that's what I have for you. I'm so excited for you. This is really beautiful energy. Um, if this resonated with you, please like, comment, subscribe. Um, I always love to hear like how it resonates in the comments. So definitely drop me a comment if you feel inclined. And again, just like thank you so much for being here. It is so nice to read your cards. And I hope you will come back and see me again for another reading soon. Okay, bye. Hi, Pile Threes. If you chose this lighter that says, I am just like a duck, I don't give a fuck. I just love this thing so much. This is your reading. We are going to move the tarot off for a second, and we are going to ask Spirit what their beautiful surprise is for you. Okay. So first, we have Activated Earth, Power Places, Ley Lines, Trust where you're led. And we have Starkeeper, Cosmic Ancestor, Seed the Light by Staying Grounded. So we got some earth. I want to move these. Look at this. There's like a portal up. They're both about being earthy and grounded. Okay, this feels right. Hell yeah. I feel like part of your gift is just straight up like a channel to your ancestors. This like feels very intense. I like the energy of this pile. We have Sweetness as the energy that's going to come in, and we have Whale in reverse, and we have Cemetery. Oh, I forgot a pile got this one. Okay, I took a pause to just dig into this book. Usually I read these cards pretty intuitively, but something told me to look at them, and yo, I'm tripping out right now a little bit. Okay, so if you didn't join in the pick a pile section, I'm going to tell you like the little background about this. Um, so this is a lighter, and sorry if you've heard this already because you did watch that section, but I know a lot of people skip ahead. Um, this is a lighter that I got when I traveled to Cambodia. And it was really the start of my spiritual journey. Like, I was, at that point, I was like seeking, but not really like seriously seeking anything, just kind of confused and um, trying to figure out why I was not happy. And when I say like not happy, I mean like desperately unhappy. Um, and the funny thing about this trip, like, that I joke around about is like I got this lighter and it says I am just like a duck. I don't give a fuck. And it was truly in that trip that I started giving a fuck about life in general. Um, if you have seen pictures of Angkor Wat, Angkor Wat is in Cambodia, and Angkor Wat is one of the seven wonders of the world. And it was, I don't know what it was about being in that place, like, but the energy, like, truly kind of like busted something open in me and changed me significantly. And when I got back from that trip, I like started completely changing my life, um, and just kind of like went on this quest to become happy. And that really like started my spiritual journey. Um, that's that's where it led. Okay, so now that I'm done with that tangent, and I'm so sorry if you heard that twice, I probably told it a little bit more eloquently the first time, but these two cards, let's start with activated earth. So this card talks about ley lines and places of power in the earth and sacred spaces in the earth. So many believe that as we visit such sacred points on earth, something is activated within us. Some also believe that by connecting with the land with devotion at these sacred places, something is activated within the planet too. Are you being called to travel to a sacred place that your soul remembers, or tend the land that you live on, to honor and acknowledge the known and unknown keepers or nature spirits of the land? As you connect with earth and honor its keepers, the land opens up more fully to hold you. The fruits provide more nourishment, and the guardians watch over you. Trippy, right? Like, it's, I don't know, it's tripping me out because it's talking about actually like visiting a sacred place, and that is the pile that you picked. Okay, now Starkeeper. And if you want to read the whole thing, I think you can probably screen grab that. But then we go to Starkeeper. Okay. And here, again, you may be called to be in different places in the world to anchor this light, perhaps by taking a trip or living in a certain location. You may also find yourself experiencing awakening symptoms. The more grounded you remain, the more stable Earth's energy will become, and the less reactive humanity will be. So I don't know if you want to like read this one in its entirety. I'm not going to read the whole thing right now. Hopefully that's clear enough. But they both talk about travel, and travel specifically to sacred places and being awakened by those. And I think that is like really what this message is about. Like, the whale card also, if I remember, talks about like kind of like opening up portals within yourself as well. And then we have the cemetery card. And you know, the cemetery can talk about a rebirth. It can also talk about rising from the dead. It can also talk about your ancestors that are buried in the ground. And I feel like you really are being busted open in a way, and it is supposed to be like a very like gentle, loving push off a cliff, if that makes sense. like like this whole reading has been a little bit like a journey. I feel like this is kind of like the end of a path and also the beginning of a path. Like you're really being called to develop your spiritual relationship with your ancestors. And so if you have been planning a trip, like especially if you've been planning a trip to go um, somewhere holy from your spiritual lineage, or you've been thinking about like going to Machu Picchu or another like Angkor Wat, um, any spiritual site, like go. Honestly. Um, Even if you consider like if you're not super like organized religion focused, or traveling isn't a like huge passion of yours, like you're not gonna fly to Cambodia and go to Angkor Wat. It's pretty remote, I'm not gonna lie. Like even just going into the forest and really connecting, um like if you have Celtic energy, Stonehenge is another one. Here it says like trust where you're led. So if you have a calling to go somewhere right now, like just go. Because spirit is trying to get you in an environment, and I want to say state of mind, but it's more than a state of mind. It's really like connecting you with the earth and getting you awakened in a way that I want to say is like only possible like in that moment, in that experience, in that time. And you're going to make it there. And for some of you, it could just be going out and being in the woods. For others of you, it could be like traveling to one of these kind of ley line sites. Because we don't actually know where all of these ley lines are, right? Like you could just be intuitively like guided to somewhere with power that is going to help activate this connection to spirit. So if this is sounding like you, we're going to move on to tarot. I don't know what we're going to ask. This is a really cool message. When I forgot to talk a little bit about the whale. So the whale was supposed to be like how this changes your interaction with other people and kind of like your relationship to others. And I feel like for you, this is going to start, or not start, like develop more this kind of like inner knowing and depth that you have to you. I think it's going to take a little time to be able to describe to other people what's going on with you, what you're learning. Like, I feel like this is like a really deep dive within yourself, and it's not going to be 100% apparent to everybody that that you're kind of going on this journey within and starting to connect with your ancestors. Yeah, like this whale is just diving down, man. Down. I love this. I want to sit in this pile forever. I'm kidding, but kind of not. Okay. Hey. Oh my gosh. That was not a good shuffle, friends. Okay. So I'm going to ask like how you can connect with spirit more and kind of like listen to their nudges more. Okay. Spirit, how can pile 3 connect with you more? What do you want them to do? Okay. So we have the High Priestess reversed. We have Les Barons, the wild card, reversed. And then we have Magic Mirror. And when this came out, like, this is the Moon card. I heard mirror work. So for some of you, like mirror work might be something that you want to look into. For others, I really think like it's learning to trust your intuition. I think that sometimes like for people who are very intuitive, it's a struggle to like distinguish between when you are getting like an intuitive download or getting a message from spirit, and when you're just kind of like having an anxious moment or you have some kind of internal chatter going. Um, like Barons is about like kind of celebrating through the dark moments. It's a wild card in this deck, so it doesn't have like a meaning in the traditional Rider Waite. Um, I really see this as a card of like joy through challenge, although it can also be kind of about like unexpected circumstances or gifts, which is pretty fitting for this reading. I think here, like, Spirit really wants you to start connecting with your intuition and like really, really make an active effort into trying to figure out like what is your anxiety and what is your spiritual download. I think the way that you're going to be able to distinguish this is like the way that these kind of feelings make you feel. And kind of like feeling it like almost like in your body. Your body's going to give you like a little bit of a tell on how like on what it is. Like if you're feeling anxious, remember that spirit doesn't give you messages to cause anxiety. They might kind of bop you on the head and be like, yo, what are you doing? But that's not really spirit's message, right? Like, I think a lot of times we kind of like misinterpret things that are either like too good to be true on one side or like very like negative or, you know, kind of like critical. And both of those sides like typically are not messages from spirit, right? Like you kind of have to like walk the line in between. But there is some sort of like inner peace or knowing. And as you really like start to pay attention, start to kind of, you know, like don't pull cards for yourself all the time. there's like, you can do that too much, but like as you start like pull cards, um, sit and like have a kind of a sacred space and a moment where you're just connecting and you kind of drop your internal chatter and just see what comes in and really develop that space to channel with them. And I think that's going to help you start discerning like what is your kind of true intuitive prompt and what's just like that little bit of internal chatter. And then let's ask like, Spirit, do you want pile 3 to do anything specifically for you? I mean, we're going to keep this pretty general because, you know, this is a general reading, but the types of things, what types of things would you like? Like, do you want offerings? Like that kind of stuff. Ooh, ooh. Okay, we have the Six of Wands in reverse, and we have the Three of Wands. When this popped out, I just heard fire. So when you talk to your spirits, light a candle. Yeah, and then we have the Sun. I think honestly, like, your ancestors want you to really talk to them. And the Six of Wands, like, this card is about communication. It's a little bit different than the traditional Rider Waite. Like, they want you to know that you can tell them anything. Like, there's no pride here. There's no shame. There's no guilt. in this sun card, it kind of echoes the star because the star has these little like babies, and it's all about kind of connecting to your destiny. They want to connect you to your destiny. They want to bring beautiful things into your life. They want to work with you. And through developing your intuitive connection with them, they're going to tell you exactly what they want. And you're going to be able to hear it. And this is kind of like a weird message, but like, this like Three of Wands, like these two people are like basically fucking, but like, just heard from Spirit, like, we're going to tell you how to satisfy us. And they don't mean it that way, but it's just like a funny way to communicate it. And that's what I get for asking a really like non-tarot question with tarot. Like, I don't know what kind of answer I was expecting from cards for that. But yes, just start talking to them. Light them a candle, make that your spot. You can do it in front of a mirror. Like, set up your little sacred space in the way that you communicate in a way that flows for you. And there's no right or wrong. And I feel like that I kind of keep getting this like message where I think this pile struggles a little bit with maybe like perfectionism or having to do things perfectly all the time. And Spirit really wants you to know that like perfection doesn't exist, and they want you to come as you are. Warts, bumps, beauty, everything. Like, they love you and accept you for who you are. And you can't do something that's going to like offend them or make them angry. Like, you're a good person and you give a shit. Like, just like a duck, you actually give a fuck. You wouldn't have picked this if you didn't. And they absolutely love and adore you. And they want to continue this relationship and make it deeper so they can bring even more into your life. And that's really the message here. So yeah, this was beautiful. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. I'm really excited. If you are like planning a trip or doing something out of the ordinary, let me know. If you're not, sit with Spirit in front of that mirror, light that candle, and ask them like where to go. Do something fun. Um, yeah. Well, if this resonated, please like, comment, subscribe. Come back, see me again soon, and hopefully I will see you in another reading. Okay, bye.